If you ask the average person what a millionaire looks like, they will probably describe someone driving a brand new Ferrari, covered in Gucci logos, and wearing a massive diamond watch. But here is the brutal, unspoken truth of the financial world. That is not how wealthy people spend their money. That is how broke people spend their money to look wealthy. The financial industry and modern marketing have completely brainwashed the middle and lower classes into buying things that actively destroy their net worth, while the actual millionaires next door are quietly buying assets. My name is Nick, and I talk about the psychology of money and how to actually build wealth instead of just pretending to be rich. Today, we are breaking down 5 specific things that poor and middle class people constantly buy that the wealthy almost completely avoid. Thing number one is designer clothing with massive logos. Walk into any lower middle class mall in America and you will see people walking around with giant Supreme, Gucci, or Louis Vuitton logos splashed across their chest. Now, go to a quiet, affluent neighborhood where the real multimillionaires live. You will see people wearing plain, unmarked t-shirts and basic sweaters. Broke people buy loud designer brands because they are deeply insecure about their financial status and they want to project an image of success to strangers. They will literally go into credit card debt to be a walking, unpaid billboard for a European luxury conglomerate. The truly wealthy don't need to prove they have money. They value quality, comfort, and anonymity. When you buy a $400 t-shirt with a giant logo on it, you aren't buying quality. You are paying 1,000% markup to buy an identity. Stop doing it. Thing number two is the brand new financed car. This is the ultimate middle class trap. The second someone gets a decent job or a small raise, the first thing they do is march down to a dealership and sign a 72-month contract for a brand new car. They obsess over the new car smell, completely ignoring the mathematical reality that the vehicle loses 20% of its value the exact second the tires roll off the dealership lot. Broke people view cars as status symbols and focus on the monthly payment. Wealthy people view cars as utility tools to get from point A to point B, and they focus on the total cost of ownership. The average self-made millionaire drives a reliable 4-year-old Toyota, Honda, or Ford, and they hold on to it for a decade. They let some other sucker take the massive depreciation hit. If you are financing a depreciating piece of metal at 8% interest just to impress people in traffic, you are actively choosing to stay poor. Thing number three is extended warranties and protection plans. Every time you buy a laptop, a TV, or a car, the salesperson tries to terrify you into buying a $200 extended warranty. Broke people buy these plans out of fear because they live paycheck to paycheck and don't have an emergency fund. The idea of a $500 repair breaks them, so they pay the premium. Wealthy people understand that warranties are just a mathematical casino, and the house always wins. The company has run the statistics. They know the product probably won't break, which is why they're selling you the insurance in the first place. Wealthy people self-insure. Instead of buying a dozen different protection plans on every appliance and electronic they own, they just keep an emergency fund in a high-yield savings account. If something breaks, they just pay to fix it with cash. Over a lifetime, skipping the extended warranties saves you thousands of dollars. Thing number four is get-rich-quick schemes and lottery tickets. There's a reason the lottery is often called a tax on the poor. When you are broke and feel completely hopeless about your financial future, you stop looking for a process and you start looking for an event. You buy scratch-offs, you bet on sports parlays, or you dump your savings into the latest meme crypto coin because you're praying for a miracle. You want wealth without the work. Wealthy people know that real wealth is incredibly boring. It is not an overnight event. It is a slow, quiet process. They put their money into real estate, businesses, and S&P 500 index funds, and then they let it sit there for 20 years. If you are constantly looking for a shortcut, a life hack, or a winning ticket, you are guaranteed to stay exactly where you are. Thing number 5 is buy now, pay later financing. In the last few years, companies like Klarna and Affirm have exploded by allowing people to finance everyday consumer trash. You can now literally finance a $60 pair of shoes or a $200 microwave over 4 easy payments. This is a psychological trap designed specifically for broke people. It removes the friction of spending and tricks your brain into thinking you can afford things you have absolutely no business buying. Wealthy people use debt as leverage to buy income-producing assets like real estate. Broke people use debt to buy pizza, shoes, and couches. If you have to slice a $100 purchase into 4 separate payments, you cannot afford it. You are literally selling your future labor to buy a temporary dopamine hit today. If you want to actually become wealthy, you have to completely rewire how you view money. Stop buying things to look rich and start buying things that actually make you rich. If you want to keep learning the real, unglamorous mechanics of building wealth, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.